Mm-hmm. This is an interesting live I'm about to do. Interesting. Put my phone on the charger. Peace to the God, the rebirth, and the re-education, but on for the nation. Interesting live. Eight split two. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna block you or not. Anger management. Um, why is this even a why is this even a topic in our space? Why is this even a topic in our space? I think anger management is one of the bigger things we need to talk about on here because obviously we have a problem with it. I know from firsthand. Anger management has made me lose a lot of money, especially in this particular space. Anger management affected me in dealing with DMs, shippers, mechanics at the shop, your loved one at home. It affected me in a lot of ways, man. And it's something we don't really think about before we get in the truck. We're just trying to, get the job or whatever. But then when you get in there, you're short, and it affects your money, bro. It does. And the more I worked on my anger, the more I see the benefits of being more patient. You know, because in the beginning, I was not a patient person. When I first started, anything could set me off. Anything could set me off, and I would chalk it up to, oh, well, you gotta teach them how to deal with you. That's true, but at the same time, if um, every time you deal with somebody in your company, every time you deal with somebody in your company and it leaves a sour taste in whoever you're dealing with mouth, that shit adds up, bro. Tyreek, I see you. Thanks for showing love to the cash app. It adds up, and it affects your money. It affects where you run. You know, I remember one time I called a company and I was talking to the mechanic, and I could just hear he was short, bro. He was so short with me. He was just short. I've been through the orientation. They told me, oh, if you have a problem, call this number. And I called the number and I was like, the truck is broke down. And I was told to call this number when the truck's broke down. And he was like, all right, what window are you near? I was like, no, I'm on the road. and just broke down on the side of the road. He was like, "Well, you know what? I'm not roadside assistance, right?" Like he was being very sarcastic with me. He was like, "I'm not roadside assistance, right? I can't do nothing from you from here." I was like, "Well, I was. This is the number they told me to call." So I was like, "Are you supposed to route me to the roadside assistance?" Oh well, don't shouldn't you say that when you call? I said, "Look, dude, I don't give a fuck, bro. I told him straight. I said, let me stop you right there, dude. Let me stop you right there. You're talking to the right driver, cause fuck you, bro. Like I was that quick." He was like, "All right," like Kyle said, "Now don't tell me to calm down with your condescending bullshit. This is my paycheck on the line. I'm driving right now. Your piece. If you're the mechanic, you're supposed to be the person to do the intake on it, right? You did the intake on this truck. You did the intake on it. You checked the all the stuff with your 256 checkpoint bullshit." Oh man, I just went off on the dude. Yeah, you did all that and you couldn't figure out that this some bitch is a piece of shit. That's how stupid you are. That's how inept you are. That's how incompetent you are in your freaking job, you fucking idiot. Oh my god, I just went ham on him, bro. For no, he's like, hey man, I just went off. And he was like, dude, I'm not. He was like, I'm just saying, just tell me what to say when you call in. I said, dude, but you're doing it with a fucking attitude, bro. And at that point, I just went off on him, dude. And he was like, I'm gonna have to tell somebody, call them so I can cuss they bitch ass out too. And I hung up on him. Click. In retrospect, that was not that was that was not the way I should have handled that. But at the time, it was like, how dare you have an attitude, bro? That's what I was thinking in my mind. Like, how dare you have an attitude? Like, how can you have an attitude with me? I just didn't get how you could have an attitude. And I'm not calling to bother you, bro. I'm calling you because this is what they told me to do. And I was just thinking, man, I handled that wrong. Maybe in a correct world, in a correct world, I was supposed to just eat that. In a correct world, I was supposed to just eat that. I was just supposed to eat shit and just let him get that off and think, oh, that's him living in pain and I'm living good. I just won't wire that way. You know, yeah, I've hated 80% of my DMs. 80% of them. I've hated 80% of them because I just felt like they're condescending. I don't like condescending people, especially when we're doing a transaction in business. I just feel like the people in the office were just, you know, they're an assholes, bro. And I just wasn't standing for it. But at the same time, and Jaren, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, man. It's something I struggle with to this day. It's hard to say because the truth is, as a truck driver, you have no chips. So there's really no time for there is no time where when you do that explosion, it's not gonna hurt you. That's the truth. There's no time when you respond. There's no time when you respond. It's not gonna affect your money. None. That's the truth. That's the cold hard truth. And it's hard to affect his money because he's hourly or salary. So right there, system wise, he he has one up on you. So if you go off and cuss this dude out, he's the one there. You got to wait for the PO number. He has to find. He's the liaison to the loads. He can slow down your money, and they do, because something we never talk about on here really is how much retaliation is involved in a trucking company. It's not a merit based system. It's a retaliatory system in the office. You know, and no one talks about, like, if you everything is you're it's like everything you do, they have a retaliatory response. So me cussing that dude out, him then calling somebody else, and then me having a bad attitude with that person, it could slow down my money. And what it does, it teaches you with negative reinforcement, it teaches you to be in line. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be, Mr. Jaron Gordon, I see you. Appreciate the love, big bro. There you go. You're supposed to walk on eggshells. You're supposed to walk on eggshells. And if you and I always try to what I've been trying to do is work on my patience and not look at it as me not going off on this dude is me submitting. It's me picking my shots. I'm picking my shots. That would be the best. That would be the best way of explaining this. You have to pick your shots. You have to pick your shots. You have to know when to let it out. You also have to be an information gatherer and record everything. So what I would do, what I learned to do is if I feel any condescension or attitude, I cut off phone conversation. You can't call me. I start doing everything, talking through Big Mike. I see you. One out here really getting money. I see you. I cut off phone conversation. You can't call my phone. Now we must speak through the call com without a retaliatory, without telling him, without cussing, without any of that. It's just all call com. And there's a reason why. Can anybody tell me? There's a reason why. I'll wait. There you go. Proof. See, when when they call me and let's say something goes array, right? And Miss Samara Stone doesn't like this load, and she says he sends the load to her, and she says, "I'm not interested in that load." When you deny a load, say you don't want it. I don't want this load. For any reason, what is the next thing your DM's going to do? What is the next thing your DM going to do? And again, I will wait. What is the next thing your DM going to do? He's going to call you. Terrence Carter. He's going to call you. That's not the next thing. The next thing he's going to do is going to call your phone. He's going to call you. And why did he choose? Because here's the thing. Your DM hates you. He doesn't want to speak to you because you're trash. Let's just be real. That's what that class of person that's white collar in the building believes. And that's what every trucking company teaches the people they hire to deal with you. These people are trash. That's what they say. That's no stroke of the word. They're junk. They're trash, dumpster people. So they don't want to deal with you. So when he sent Samara the load, he didn't want to talk to her. He just sent it. Hopefully she takes it and he don't have to speak to her for 3 days because she's trash. Her denying the load, he's angry. And he wants to go through with the persuasion and the persuasion and the lightweight threatening, and he wants to do that, but he does not want it recorded. So what does he do? He calls. He calls. And I don't know what company you work at. Some companies record calls. They'll call you from a cell phone. Or beware of the person who texts you. The call comes right there. Why are you texting me? They want to duck the corporate recording of themselves. Because the truth is, what they're about to tell you is a lie. They just need you to do it, and they want to be able to threaten you without it looking bad. That's the truth. That's the truth. He'll text you. Oh, listen, Samara, look, man, he'll lie. Say, oh, we don't have nothing else in the area. Oh, we ain't got nothing there. Motherfucker, I'm in Atlanta. What do you mean you don't have nothing? What are you talking about, man? Yeah, ain't got nothing. And I'm a person who I've called all these bluffs before. In my time when, being angry. I said, okay, I'll wait. Oh, man, it'll be Monday. No problem. I'll take a 34. Call me when you got something better. And you know what I realized in doing that act of anger and not taking that load and just saying I'm going to go to the hotel and chill in the Ritz-Carlton and show me something Monday. You know what type of load that Monday load is going to be? Do you think he went to work to find you the best load? You think he went to work? No. He did the opposite. When you did that, he sat there for an hour finding you the worst paying load he could find you. And there's a reason behind why. Because it's negative reinforcement for the piece of shit dog, what you are. It's negative reinforcement. He cannot give you a high paying load now that you did that tactic, because that will be giving you positive reinforcement on the tactic, and he don't want you to do that no more. So when I tell you to do something, I just want you to understand what it means. When you deny a load, you're forfeiting a check or two. When you act out in that anger, you're forfeiting a check. That is the rule book that corporate teaches them. They can't get paid for the next week or two. It has to be where they know they can't do that. They have to know they can't do that. And they don't want to say they're forced dispatch because then they wouldn't get no applicants. But the truth is you're forced dispatch. You're forced dispatch. The only company that I felt that didn't have this direct practice was Wiley, E.W. Wiley. They didn't have that direct practice, but most of them do. The truth, and this is something that people are not going to like, it depends on if you're a company or your lease or your owner op. Here's the truth thing about being a lease in a company. You got to take the load. It's that simple. Within reason, you got to take it. Because if you act out in anger, he's going to win. Because when you acted out in anger and you showed him, his check was the same. Yours is going to suffer. That's the truth. Your check is going to suffer. Because that is the way they teach you what is wrong and what is right to do. By taking your money. That's how they do that. They sit down at length and talk about it. Everything. Because the truth is, your driver manager believes that you do not have the station to tell me no. It's like you're offending him. How dare you have an opinion on what I'm telling you? And in my younger years and being angry, I was not factoring in that. I'm not factoring that in. I'm just reacting in anger. I'm just reacting in anger. That's it. And as you get older, you realize when you're looking at something with patience and strategy, that was not the correct move. That was not the correct move. I can't turn it up no louder, so y'all just screwed on that if you don't have your sound together. But that was not the correct move for me. For anyone, it's not the correct move. The truth is, you came here to run loads, run them. You came here to run loads, run the loads. The only time you're denying loads is on the way home when they try to send you away from your house. That's the only time I'm denying a load. It's not that blanket, Michael Cruz, and I've tried to explain it with nuance, but you want a flat out answer, and that's not how this works. It's just it's you have to, how do I put it? You just have to pick. You have to pick your punches. Now, one thing I draw the line at is disrespect. If I feel you're disrespecting me, I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm getting off the phone now because you're speaking to me in a disrespectful manner, and I didn't do that to you. And from now on, you have to respond through me with through company correspondence. And I'm gonna say in the company correspondence, the reason why you are in company correspondence is because you don't know how to talk to your drivers. This also goes an understanding. This also goes under the understanding of the, what do you call that? The chain of command. Because right now, most people don't know their chain of command. They just know the DM. But there's a chain of command. There's a chain of command you're supposed to be, that you can go past this person. If this person is just being ignorant and inappropriate, you can go past them. That's what you got to do. You got to weigh the consequences. Because when we're reacting like there is no consequence, and there is a consequence. This exchange you're having costs money. It's gonna cost you money. And I wasn't putting that together when I was in my earlier career. I was just reacting to whatever was going on. Just react. Oh, what reaction? Screw it. And you can do that in your younger age because you have the ability to snap back. But as you get older, you will realize that this is futile. You shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. You should conduct yourself better than that. And what you do is you set a trap. And what I found when I forced them to have to speak to me on I put them in a position to where when they have to speak to me where it's recorded, and I don't let up. That's why drivers have two phones. Because one, you can just cut off, and they have no way to contact you. Because there's no rule that says you have to have a cell phone. There's no rule that says you have to have a cell phone. Because if you had to have a cell phone, this is one thing I know about having a job for a long period of time. When you have to have a cell phone, they provide it. The same way they provide you that call com. So what you do is you just stop answering, and you answer everything on the call com, the company provided correspondence. You answer thing on there. Then let's say some weeks go by, maybe even a month go by, and you're in the office, you'll run into him, and he will be very apologetic. Because what you just showed them is you understood how corporate works. Because in his belief, you don't know 2 plus 2. And I try to beat that to y'all, and beat that to y'all. What these people really think of you, and you have to attack them with strategic movement. You can't just, if you react angrily, you basically you prove them right. Basically, just a good laundry, but only 3 people hit the cash app. Come on now, what you talking about? JetBlue, come on now. You prove them right. What is corporate? Corporate is exploiting the world and killing every person it touches. That's what I believe corporate is. Corporate, and I hate to say this out loud, but corporate is inherently exploitive. That's the point of it. And it's very meaning of being here. It is to exploit the resources in the most efficient and proficient way possible. And a person who's in corporate will be like, oh, no, it's not. Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's why you have to use Machiavellian tactics to 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 beat it back. You know, you have to fight fire with fire. They lie, you lie. That's the only way you're gonna end up on top. They're trying to catch you in a trap. They have things all around your truck to catch you. Exactly, Samara. They have things all around the truck to catch you. They have a brain on your truck that's tracking your speed, your brake pressure. They have the new eye now that shows if your eye is looking away from the road. It shows if you pick up your phone. That is all ways for them to put you in a position to say it's your fault. The clock tells you, you know, the clock tells them if you're sleeping or not. So it tells them like, okay, how together you were on this load. That's all giving them tools that when you talk to them, they can prove you wrong. That's what that's for. So when you speak to them, they're always, because you're inherently a bad person because you're a trucker. So what your DM is doing when you're talking to them, they're trying to catch you in a lie. The whole conversation. The whole conversation is what they're trying to do. They're trying to catch you lying. That's why it's like, you checking everything I'm telling you. That means you believe I'm going to lie to you. Oh, no, they said so-and-so. When you let's say you go somewhere and they say, load's not ready. Load's not ready. What do your DM do? He calls them. That's because you're a piece of shit and he doesn't believe what you're saying. So he calls. Hey, the driver's saying that the load's not ready. Is that true? He's trying to catch you lying. Oh, how come you weren't? What happened with you not being there? What happened to you not being there on time? He knows, bro. He already hit your button. He can see your clock. He can see how fast you were going. He can see what route you took. He can see that you went slow. He can see everything, bro. Why did he need to ask me that? Because I even tried that. One time a dude talked to me and I said, don't you know this already? This was at Prime. I think his name was David. He's a fucking cunt. Don't you know this already? Yeah, but I just want to see what you have to say about it. So you're playing a game with me? That's what I asked him. Are you playing a game with me? No, I'm not playing a game with you. I just want to understand, why, this wasn't here on time. So I said, so you have your thought process already, right? Yeah. So you're just fucking with me. This is fun for you. You like to do this, right? He's like, no, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I said, dude, you know what's going on. You know what time I got up. You know what road I took. You have the weather thing. You have the traffic thing, right? I mean, how many of y'all know that they have weather and traffic right there? Everything you say, they have a source of checking it. They have weather and traffic right there. They know, bro. You don't have to tell them that. They know. I'm in traffic right now, may be late. They go right to your truck, and you better hope that shit is red. Oh, they know exactly ABC. I agree. They know, bro. So what I say is, can't you see the traffic report? Can't you see the weather report? I tell them because I let them know. I know what you're doing, bro. I know what's going on. And when I realize you're one of them, you can't talk to me on the phone. And instead of blowing up at them, I would say words that were scathing. Like, I know you are an enemy. I would say shit like that. I know you are an enemy and you are interested in trying to A, get me fired, or B, prove I was not on time. So for now on, you will have to correspond to me through recorded messages. They don't like that because that's corporate. They don't like that shit. Now you're basically at that point, you're threatening their job. Now, if you would just be a trucker and just cuss them out, that wouldn't threaten their job. You understand? That would not threaten their job. When you go off on a truck, when you go off on a DM, their job is not in danger. It's not in danger at all. But when you go to that call com and say, you are acting untrustworthy, I do not feel safe in our business relationship, so therefore I believe everything needs to be recorded on this call com until we can talk to a mediator. That puts their job in question because now his boss has to go to that, and then he has to go back to everything he's done. He has to go through all the correspondence that's there. He has to go and put into question what loads he gave you with the time and correspondence to your clock. He has to check his work. And let me tell you something. They don't want their work checked. Not to mention, when you complain the correct way, you go into a pile of other people that are complaining about that DM if he truly is a problem. Because when you just say it, okay, it's fine. But if it came from 10 other people, this is now an issue that I'm having with it. Now the GM's looking at, this is you. This is you. No, it's these drivers. Yeah, it was these drivers the first time. It was the drivers the first time. Maybe the second time. I'll give you the third time. That guy was crazy the fourth time. Yeah, the fifth time. But the sixth time, buddy? No, Hunter. No, Hunter. Brad, Bryce, Braden. It's you. It can't be all the truckers, bro. Come on now. His boss, sometimes he got to step in like, come on now. You're up to 10 complaints. You're up to 10 complaints, bro. 10. You need to work on your skills, and he gonna get pressed about that shit. And he don't want that. That and way corporate works, that messes with his evaluations, that messes with his raises, that messes with his promotions. Cussing him out does nothing. It does nothing. It does nothing. Because he got 10 complaints, but there's a freaking driver manager on that ain't got no complaints. They don't want that shit. Oh no, they don't want that at all. Tony says you're a sponge. Keep going for $2. I'll think about it, Tony. And why would you? Why would you? You know, like I tell y'all, this content doesn't help my channel. I know the correct content I'm supposed to do, and I don't want to do it. I just keep doing this. I just keep doing it when I know it doesn't help my channel. You know, switching DMs. That is a good conversation switcher. To me, switching DMs, it depends. You hope that it works, but it's a crapshoot because you can get switched to a worse DM. Matter of fact, you can get switched to the DM that handles the problems. You can get switched to the DMs that handles the problems. So that you just put yourself in the problem pile. Exactly, Bruta. That's exactly. So when you switch DMs, you say you want to switch DMs, you go over to this other DM, they talk in the office, bro. Because you're 1,000 miles away. He's feet away. All right, yeah, I just think it's a personality thing. He's very short. He only seems to want to run certain loads. He never wants to run in the snow. He doesn't like going in New York. He's just gonna lay it on thick. And the other guy's gonna think, what? I don't play that shit. And it all comes down to browbeating you into position. That's what it is. That's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is to force you without forcing you. And the way they do that is money. If you do what I say, you'll make it. Sometimes. If you don't do what I say, you'll make it none of the times. It's that simple. That's why I have a thing where I say the truth is dumb truckers do better at companies. I'll wait on that. Think about it. Y'all think I'm right or wrong? Think about it. Dumb truckers do better. Do you know why? Do you know why dumb truckers do better? Yeah, we all want the money, but they do not care. Good old boy system. But that really speaks to them being white, not dumb. I don't know, Aunt. I don't know why they doing me like that. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. They'll take any load. They'll take any load. They don't have nothing to complain about. And matter of fact, they accept their position as under the DM because they don't know better. They'll run the truck in terrible conditions. They'll take a week past the time they said they were going home time. They'll keep getting a crappy load over and over again. They're just they don't have the tact to catch the innuendos. at all. They take any load. My trainer that trained me had some diminished capacity, some slower cognitive function, which is the politically correct way to say that. And he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but the DM loved that dude, bro. I mean, loved him. Just loved him, dude. Everything about him. Called him buddy. I didn't hear him when he called speaker. All right, you there? All right, everything's good. All right, buddy, let me know. Called him buddy. Okie dokie. I mean, he loved that dude. Loved the dude, man. Slave to the Death Star. And more importantly, a slave to the Death Star, but was totally okay with it. So you thinking, oh, I'm going to show the DM intelligence? You can express it in you getting loads there on time and stuff like that, but not in talking about loads and conversating with them. If you do, it will offend him. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It will offend him. Because you're a piece of shit to him. And how dare you think of something I didn't? Oh my God. If you have a good point and think of something that he doesn't, oh, they hate that shit, bro. But that dude who just turns the wheel and goes, he's the man, bro. Oh my God, they love that guy. They love that guy. Come on, bro. They love him. They love him, man. He just plays, and you know the main reason is he just plays ball. And I can't say the guy's 100% wrong. You can't. It's not your fault if your diminished capacity. But hey, man, he turns loads without crashing, and that's your job. Some of this stuff we got to check some of our own shit on this. Your job is to turn loads. Your job is not to be, trying to prove to your DM you're smart. Your job is to turn loads. That's it. Turn loads. That's your job. And we start getting these. I like to be in this state. I like to run this state. I like this time frame on what load I pick up. I don't like this shipper. That shit. There ain't no room for none of that, bro. Those are the building blocks of you getting out. You understand that? When you start having certain states you like to be in, and you don't like this shipper, and I don't like what time, and you about to get out of the game. It's time to go. Because basically, you're basically saying, I don't like my job. Because that is your job. Literally. That's like a doctor saying, oh, I hate working on fat people. You got to work on fat people, bro. It's right there in the bottom. Like, you got to do it. Forget about it. It's been 400 people on here, 40 likes. That's how they like me, dog. That's the truth. You have no space to be thinking. Turn the load, bro. You're not there to get cool. You're not there to be, man, listen, bro. See, this knife cuts two different ways. I got older and said, I'm just gonna take the load. And where it's going is where it's going. But shoot, now I don't do no favors though. Yeah, that's why. No, thank you. I don't do favors. Absolutely not. No, I can't do that. If I'm planning to go home, going home. I'm not doing no extra load. I'm not doing none of that. No, sir. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Because the problem is most smart truckers get in their own way. That's not a dig at smart truckers or dumb truckers. It's just usually smarter people, they get in their own way. That's the truth. If you're if you start being smart and you start learning this job, you'll know when he makes a dumb decision. And you're gonna be like, I'm not doing that. That make no sense. How many times have you said that don't make no sense? That don't make no sense. So you want me to what? All right, yeah, they said it's gonna be 32 hours, but you know what? Go run this other load, which is 300 miles that way, and then you do the math. That's not gonna be enough time. I'll be late to get back to this load. Oh, we'll work. That's dumb. I don't want to do that. That's what I'm saying. That you'll catch on to his problem, what he's doing wrong. Especially after you've been doing this for a while, you know what's supposed to happen. That don't make no sense. Well, just sit there. Do I get overtime? See, nah, bro. Because now you're gonna start calling out where you're supposed to be getting paid. You're supposed to pay me for that. That offends them too. You know that, right? That, oh man, you're supposed to pay me. What is my overtime gonna be? All those conversations, they don't like that. They don't like it. Don't do no favors, bro. I don't do favors. Nah, bro. Negative. Not interested. If he says I need a favor, that situation is turmoil. And somebody already said no. No, thank you. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. Not interested. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. I'm not gonna keep y'all forever, man. I only got 4 people at the gas yet. 5. But it's just what I learned is with the anger management, you have to, you know, you have to think to yourself, why? Why am I doing this? Well, if I have this episode and explode on this dude, how would that help me? And the truth is, it's not going to. Yeah, that's true. So what I tell you to do is exercise some patience, move strategically. You got a rude DM, don't talk to him on the phone. Make all the messages go through the call com. Because it's funny how polite he is on the call com, isn't it? Isn't that funny? He's so polite on that call com. I ain't gonna keep you all day, man. We didn't hit where we need to hit on the cash app, so I'm not staying 2 3 hours. But what I will say before I get out of here is pick your shots, bro. And instead of saying anything, just don't answer the phone and only respond on the call com and keep all your receipts. Every time he didn't have a PO for you, every time he booked something wrong, every time he told you to be there at 8 but they don't open till 1400, I'll record all of that shit. Because when it's time to go to the office, that's what they're going to respond to. Every time he didn't know the PO, every time he told you to be there at 8 and you wasn't supposed to be there, every time he gave you an address that wasn't accurate, every time he's messed up, record it. Write it down, screenshot it, and pile that bitch up. And why would I? It's like I'm building a case on him. Yeah, because he's building a case on you. He's building a case on you, and you need to build a case on him. That's a fact. And your safety rules should be over anybody in the company. You don't like driving on ice, don't drive. Period. And the magic word is unsafe. I don't want to do that. That's unsafe. And say it in the call comm. That's unsafe. I don't feel safe doing that. I don't have enough hours. I don't feel safe that I'll get there in time without getting a violation. You got to know the terms, bro. Just going off is just going to sound like you're an angry trucker, and it does nothing to get him. That's true. That's the truth. So how did I work on my anger management? I started paying attention. And to me, I'm not going to do something that just doesn't benefit me. And that does not, and blowing up does not benefit me. And it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit you to blow up. All it does is take your money. And they know that. They know it, bro. My wrist is kind of wonky right now. They know it, man. They know what's going on. They're not stupid. You know? They know what's going on, bro. They know what's going on. So I appreciate y'all for coming. I gotta go back at it, man. Get back in the truck. Gotta get out of the way. I'm not gonna be on here for another week or so. And I will check in with y'all probably next Thursday if I can make it back, or next Friday. Appreciate all the love. Don't do drugs. Be happy. I'm outie. 5th outing.